found someone. They're busy competing over there for some food. Yeah, it is the Nkuhumas. Hello, guys. So, where I got off, where you last saw us, I started tracking those lions and then got off the vehicle and was having a look, and the tracks were very, very fresh. It's very likely that they killed something earlier, that's what we heard, and they've been moving, because whatever it is they killed, it wasn't enough. You can see those two individuals, they are locked in a tight grip over whatever it is that they're feeding on. And as I was walking, I heard the characteristic competition of lions feeding, and here we have them. The Nkuhuma pride. Fantastic. So some of them have got quite full bellies, which means that they've eaten something before this. You know, lions can eat more than once in an evening, depending on the size of the prey. And it's very likely that they killed whatever it was. And because they competed so fiercely over that last morsel, they just kept moving. Because they're not all here. I only count 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I only count 6. So that's what often happens, is when lions dig their teeth in, like those two have done, they can, oh, there's another 2 under the bushes there. Okay, so we've got at least 7. I'm going to try and reposition in a short while with a couple in there. So they'll break off whatever pieces they can. They'll go sit by themselves somewhere. There's definitely more of a morsel underneath the bushes there. Whatever it is that they've caught. Those two are not going to let go. That's mine. Oh, there's actually 3 there. Can you? But I could look like 2. Now I see 3. The numbers are growing, steadily growing. Normally when you see them like that, they're holding onto a spinal cord with a little bit of meat, but it's very strong, so they can't rip it. I have no idea at the moment what animal this might be. Craig, I'm going to try go around. Should I? I'm going to go around there next to Rex. I'll stay here for a minute. Let's see what happens when that little youngster here, got quite a full belly. Much fuller than they were the day before last. Hello, Nkuhumas. Not looking so pretty now. There's blood all over the place. Look at that belly. Oh. Going to walk up to this other individual and probably give a bit of a head scratch, head rub. There was a lot of fighting in that kill, I've no doubt. Oh, I'm sorry, big brother. Wisteria, you reckon it might be a kudu? I mean, judging by the bellies, it's very hard to say. But where we heard the screams or the shouts earlier, that's probably 500 meters behind us. A lioness, as we arrived, moved off back in that direction. So I have no doubt that there's been more than one kill here. But the first kill was quite small and didn't go very far. And then, because they're still hungry, they moved off. I mean, it's possible they haven't eaten since the other day when Taylor was with them. They were still hungry, which is what causes them to move such a great distance. But I'm very surprised, because is this even the same lion pride? Because I saw a track. You know, the tracks we were following along right in the beginning had a very small lion track in there, and there's no small lion in this pride anymore. But the tracks that I picked up now that we were following were much fresher, but I wasn't looking for that young track. So it's very likely that the sticks came in as they have done before, and the Nkuhumas came in, and once again movement. Sticks would have moved off south, and the Nkuhumas stayed right where they are. Heart of Nkuhuma Pride lands. So we found them. found them. So no evokers, but on the trail of these cats there were 2 male lions. But that was on the original tracks there of the sticks heading in that direction. Who knows? There are definitely 2 male lions somewhere around. Maybe that's them further down there. They killed something we couldn't find. It really is hard to say, folks. It really is hard to say. All I know is that I'm happy because I get a bit upset with myself if we spend a lot of time trying to track cats and we're not successful. Unless they cross a boundary, then I can submit to myself. But if they're still inside, I get a bit frustrated if I don't find them. Morning, Glory. Good morning. Let me get you the map out here and I'll show you exactly where we are. It's nicely backlit. And we are right over here. Right over there, Battelier and Drakensberg. This is where Tundi spent a lot of her time. And the tracks came in, from up here. This is where Rexon had tracks. From the gate, they came all the way down through the concession. And then we started following the tracks from about here. They went across Elephant Carcass onto Mamba. And then about over here this morning, that's when we told you we were going to Chitwa to follow up on the sticks. Then we heard of something, commotion over here. We went all the way around. Now coming back in, we've searched this whole section here. No sign of anything. I drove all the way to the end. Then I spoke to you about me following up on the tracks again. We followed them to here, heard commotion, and here we are. So that's why it's so important to be quiet out here in the African wilderness so that you can hear. How marvelous is that? Those 3 are still holding on to whatever that might be. A bit hemmed in by lions at the moment, so I can move if you think it's a good idea, Craigo. Yep. I reckon those 3 are going to erupt in teeth and claws soon. Hold on, I'm just going to come around onto that side. Sorry, girl. Sorry guys. I just bumped a little branch there, gave that young lion a little fright, but it's perfectly okay. Come around onto the same side as Rex in there. Rex has been giving me a hand. Yeah, this is where the kill happened, eh? I'm just going to go back. You can see the stomach content on the floor. It's all stomach content there on the floor, and then they've just divided it up in all different directions. Very hard to tell by the amount of stomach whether that's a kudu, impala or a nyala, I'm afraid. Beck, yes, it seems like it's all cats this afternoon, the Duke and the Nkuhumas. What better individuals or groups to have for Safari Live's show? And I'm narrating both of them. It's going to be a busy afternoon for me. Okay, so let's get those ones there, Craigo. It's very common to see lions competing like this. There we go, just in time. Lynn, definitely lions. Lions are the most competitive for sure. Male lions especially. If a male lion was in this sighting, the females probably wouldn't get too much. But it's part and parcel of their dynamics. As youngsters, they compete quite viciously for access to mum's milk. And from their first meaty meal, they're very, very competitive. And that enables them to be strong and to compete with their family members, which means they're able to compete with opposition prides as well. Leopards will basically, they will be fighting, but quite often the bigger of the two will win through just display. A smaller leopard will always submit to a bigger leopard. They can't afford to conflict, to confront each other. It leads to injury. But lions, they're born for it. And if they don't make it past the first year through the competition, then they're not meant to, through a genetic point of view, grow to adulthood. Because it's all about the strongest and the fittest. And if you can't compete with your siblings, you're not going to be able to compete for meat with the rest of the pride. And these two are holding on to something they both believe is theirs. And quite often you can see animals doing this while others feed off the meat around them. But they hold on like any of you've got a dog back home and you try and take its stick away. They don't want to let it go. It's a very similar process. It's fine. The claws on the head. Claw on the head, ears flat, growling. You can see a bit of blood on the cheeks and on the shoulder of that first lion. And the paw was very dirty. The lion on the left, very, very muddy, bloody face. A combination of blood and stomach content. Now that one started to feed a little bit. What is it that they have? Quite often to find out the kill that they have to wait for them to finish and then find a set of horns or a jawbone or a hoof. That's all you can really do. Something in between them there with a bit of brown colour, isn't it? Can't really make it out. Is it a leg? I'm going to just keep quiet for a minute because they're probably going to make another noise soon. Did anybody get a look at that? It looked like it was greyish. Didn't quite see the one lost out. Marvellous is that. There we go. That one's walking there, Gregor, with a bone on the right. What is that? No idea. It's a bone. It's a big bone. I'm afraid I don't know the internal anatomy of my herbivore animals well enough to tell you from one bone what that could be. There's this more stomach here. Yes, it is. Okay, so animal, maybe they killed two because he has more stomach content on the floor here. It's not unlikely. Starshine, you want to know why they don't eat intestines? They often do. I've seen lions physically squeezing intestines through their teeth, pushing out the rumen content inside. Definitely looks like a little bit of rumen in those intestines, or is that warthog? It's hard to say. It's been splattered around. A lot of it on the ground. A little bit too much for a warthog, I would say. Carol, not a chance, eh? Males will not lose to a pride of females. The males, one male could outcompete the entire pride. It's just he's got that confidence and that sort of wherewithal. Females would invariably lose out every time. Those two are not giving up. How marvelous is this? So, I mean, it is possible that the male lions were following them, and they killed something further down the road, and then those males competes with them for it, so they moved off and killed again. It's very likely. I've seen lions kill 6 times in the space of about 8-9 hours. Lots of bellies and mouths to feed. exciting. So with the meat gone, as you can see with these two individuals on the right that Craig's going to frame up, it starts to become cleaning time. Grooming all the blood off. A little bit more satisfied than they were this morning, I suppose. Well, let's go and see what Ralph's thoughts are, and if it is in fact this distance that he heard Tingana from, looking for the kill.